Welcome back to another explainer. Have you ever felt like learning a language is kind of like trying to solve a massive mystery? You've got all these clues, but you just don't have the right tools to piece them together. Well, today, that is exactly what we are going to fix. You are officially going to become a Spanish grammar detective. We're going to master the absolute art of asking targeted questions using Spanish interrogative words. Because, let's be real, once you know how to wield these specific words, you can extract exactly the information you need from any conversation, text, or, suspect. Actually, scratch that. I mean speaker.
Okay, let's dive right in. Here is our syllabus for today. First, we will meet the question words. Then, we'll break them down into categories: who, what, and which, where, when, and why, and how much. And finally, we will put them to work, forming targeted questions. Let's get to it. Section 1, Meet the question words. We are unpacking your detective's toolkit.
So I really want you to reframe how you think about learning grammar. We aren't just doing boring rote memorization here, okay? Think of this literally as unpacking an essential toolkit. I mean, every pro detective needs their magnifying glass and flashlight, right? For us, our tools are these pronouns and adverbs we use to ask questions. This master list right here, which is drawn straight from page 9 of our source material, by the way, is your go-to quick reference guide. These 10 specific words or phrases are the literal keys to unlocking any conversation in Spanish. And hey, do you notice how every single one of them has an accent mark? That is your biggest visual clue that an investigation is happening. That little accent mark distinguishes these question words from their normal non-question counterparts. So take a quick second to scan this list. These are the tools we're about to unpack.
Moving right along to Section 2, Who, What, and Which, identifying subjects and objects. Let's start with the exact tools we use to figure out the identities of people and things. When you need to uncover who someone is, you're going to reach for quién, who. And if you need to know who is tagging along with them, you use con quién, with whom. Now remember, these are strictly for people. If you see a name like Laura or Mario in your notes and you want to turn that into a question, these are absolutely the tools you use.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how qué acts as our primary everyday tool. Qué simply translates to what. We use this one constantly to uncover actions, definitions, or objects. Basically, if your subject isn't a person, but it's an idea, a thing, or a verb, qué is the magnifying glass you hold right up to that sentence. But we've got to be careful and contrast qué with another tool that English speakers honestly mix up all the time, cuál. This translates to which. You reach for cuál when you need to select a very specific choice from a group of options. Think of it kind of like a police lineup. You aren't asking, what is a suspect, right? You're asking, which one is the suspect? Cuál? Section 3. Where, when, and why. Uncovering circumstances. Now, let's open up the next compartment of our toolkit. This one is designed specifically to figure out the setting, timeline, and motivation of any statement you come across. If you're looking for a location, you absolutely need dónde. Where? This is hands down the best tool for pinpointing places, addresses, or destinations in your investigation. If your clue involves a house, a market, or a city, dónde is the interrogative adverb that is going to solve that mystery for you. So, what about chronologies? Well, if you need to pin down a time frame, like a day, a month, or an exact hour, you pull out cuándo, when. It's basically your grammatical timestamp. And then, of course, we have por qué, why. Notice it's written as two separate words with an accent on the E. Por qué is absolutely crucial for digging deeper. When the facts on the surface just aren't cutting it, and you really need to understand the motives and reasons behind an action, you ask por qué. Section 4. How and how much. Methods and quantities. All right, we're now pulling out the final set of tools in our kit. These allow us to measure, quantify, and describe the exact manner in which an action was performed. First up is cómo, how. If you're staring at a result and you desperately need to uncover the method, the process, or just the description of how that result was achieved, you ask cómo. Now the real trick here is distinguishing between our final tools. Cuánto and its plural, cuántos, mean how much and how many. The key is figuring out if you're uncovering an uncountable amount, like sugar or money, where you'd use cuánto, or a countable quantity, like apples or people, where you'd use the plural cuántos. You literally have to match your tool to what you're counting.
And finally, Section 5, Forming Targeted Questions. We are heading into the field with Exercise D. All right, detectives, our toolkit is completely unpacked. Let's head out into the field and dive straight into Exercise D on page 43 of our source material. We're going to reverse engineer a statement into a question, and we do this using 3 super logical steps. Step 1, look at the sentence. Step 2, identify the target information. That's the clue we want to turn into the unknown. And Step 3, choose the matching interrogative word from our toolkit to replace that clue. Let's try it out together.
Take a look at our first statement. Laura vive en una casa grande. Laura lives in a big house. Now, let's pretend we just don't know the end of that sentence. Our target clue is en una casa grande, in a big house. Well, that's a location. So which tool do we use? Take a second and think about it. Yep, you got it. We use dónde. So the question simply becomes, ¿Dónde vive Laura? Where does Laura live?
Let's do it again. Laura vive con su familia. Laura lives with her family. Our target clue this time is con su familia, with her family. Okay, so these are people, right? Companions. Think back to your toolkit. What do we use for companions? Boom. We use con quién. The targeted question perfectly becomes con quién vive Laura? With whom does Laura live?
Let's investigate sentence number 9 from the text. María va al mercado porque necesita algunas naranjas. Maria goes to the market because she needs some oranges. Look closely at that word por qué, because. Our target is the entire reason she's going. And when we're looking for a reason or a motive, we reach for por qué. So we unveil the question. ¿Por qué va María al mercado? Why does Maria go to the market?
And you know, this just brilliantly illustrates the absolute versatility of our tools. Let's do a quick rapid-fire round with 2 more from the source. El león vive en la selva. The lion lives in the jungle. A jungle is a place, so ¿Dónde vive el león? Okay, next. Nosotros estamos comprando frutas para la fiesta. We are buying fruits for the party. Fruits are an object, a thing, right? So we ask, ¿Qué estamos comprando? What are we buying?
Do you see how incredibly methodical this is? By mastering these 10 interrogative words, you are no longer just guessing in the dark. You are completely empowered. You can look at any piece of information, identify exactly what's missing, select the perfect grammatical tool, and extract the exact information you need. You truly are a Spanish grammar detective now. So I want to leave you with this final thought as we close out today's explainer. You've got your toolkit, you know exactly how to identify the clues. Literally, the only thing left to do is to step out into the real world. ¿Qué vas a preguntar hoy? What are you going to ask today? Take these interrogatives and start investigating the beautiful Spanish-speaking world around you. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep exploring.